we're in an age where the half pipes are the best the world has ever seen. If you look back at the '98 Olympics, it was pretty much a hand-dug trench that was maybe 6 feet high. And you compare that to a 22-foot super pipe cut by Jeremy Carpenter, there's no comparison.
The important parts of the half pipe, I would say, is a lot of the vert, the exit angle, the top of the walls, where that places the athlete when they leave the wall and come back. That's probably the biggest factor. And then, of course, you've got the transitions at the bottom, making the floor smooth and trying to keep it as edgeable as possible, the snow as soft as possible.
Jeremy does such a good job every year, cuts it just perfectly, and in particular, just, you know, from the transition at the bottom of the walls into the other walls, he maintains the flat bottom a lot, so it's not a very big difference between the walls and the flat bottom, so you can really ride the transition through well, and yeah, that's why this one's really good.
It really allows all the riders to push the amplitude, push the trick difficulty, minimize risk even.
The better the shape of the pipe, the more comfortable the riders are gonna feel. The cleaner your line is through the pipe, the higher you're gonna go.
Every day we maintain it because it's snow. As the people ski or snowboard it, the snow is falling away from the walls, so we continue to cut back into what we've already built to keep it in a good shape. And this takes 8 to 12 hours because the snow is changing, the weather's changing, everything is changing all the time. So the science behind it would be more with trying to keep all the snow the same quality. We need to sometimes take out the ice. There'll be ice veins in the snowpack that we need to remove to try to come up with the same product every day. That's the challenge.
To me, a good snowboard is definitely a stiff one, at the right radius, a good base, you know, to be fast in bad conditions. And also the tuning is really important, you know, because we talk a lot about the boards, but if your board is not well tuned, you're not gonna go too fast. We started building these boards now in Switzerland and in Winterthur.
The key factor for me about the factory in Switzerland is that you can choose your own shape. You can choose your own stiffness, and that's individual.
Also a big thing that changes the radius, you know, like they won't do a radius like we ride for any public. It's just not fun to ride on the slopes. And that's why we need custom boards, you know.
We have been making snowboards for professional riders for more than 20 years.
We're shaping boards for Toby Miller, Pat Burgener, Scotty James, Dave Hablitzel, Gerald Castellet, and many more.
We make them in a regular sandwich construction using a wood core, fiberglass material, and carbon fiber. A big difference from the industrial boards, though, is that we are using high-end materials only. For example, our base material is a very hard sintered base, and that's one of the secrets of our boards, actually. That's what makes the boards going so fast. The flex is much stiffer on a half-pipe board that's used in professional riding, because you don't want to have your board going like that. You want to go really stable and maintain that speed.
In a half pipe, the gravitational force works in the direction of your slope. And gravitational force is first your engine because it gives you speed going down the pipe. But then also, if you go out of the pipe, it's also like your limit because it tears you down to the center of the earth. If he goes up the pipe, his speed will decrease and he loses kinetic energy, and then he goes up, up, up until the peak of the jump. He has a maximum of potential energy, but the kinetic energy is zero. And then as soon as he starts to move down, he loses his potential energy and converts it into kinetic energy. In all alpine disciplines, you have two friction forces. First is aerodynamic drag, and the second is the friction between your snowboard and the snow. It's important to minimize the friction between the snowboard and the snow to maintain and gain more speed, because then you will be faster, and faster means higher jumps.
It's about finding the balance in your body, and that's why we work so much and we do thousands of runs. Just, you know, finding the balance, finding the middle, how to release the edge, you know, when you get on the wall. And at some point you get higher, and then you're flying.